as Blake Craig, the terrific freshman kicker for the Tigers, will kick it deep to Mr. All-Purpose Devon Booth for Mississippi State. And Booth on the run takes it at the 2. He has over 1,000 all-purpose yards on the season, and you'll see Booth run the football here momentarily for Mississippi State.
The goal in this one for Mississippi State, obviously the sneaky part is you think, oh, a tempo offense are going to try to throw it a ton. Then we get that ground game established. Makes a ton of sense to complement the passing game, take some of the pressure off of Van Buren as a passer. Also noting, as Alyssa said off the top, without Craver out wide, you need that element to be balanced in this contest.
So this is his 7th start, 5th against a top 25 opponent, and he will make his 6th next week against Ole Miss. There is a flag down to start the game.
It was otherwise a great return, a holding penalty that brought Mississippi State back a little bit just inside this 20 now to open up their possession.
It is Booth behind Van Buren, between the shadows, and Booth will carry it and get up to the 23-yard line. We were talking about him, over 1,000 all-purpose yards this year, coming over from Utah State, where he ran for over 800 yards last season.
He had a great game last time out. I went over 100 yards versus the Vols on the road.
After a pickup of 3, Van Buren stands in the pocket and throws. Wide open receiver. That's Kelly Akari. Alyssa just said it. Akari's one of those guys that needs to step up with Mario Craver out of the lineup.
Yeah, it's one of the guys that the coaches mentioned. You know, Mississippi State feels as if they can attack Missouri's defense, specifically at the corner of Nick DeLoach, number 24, who was in defense on that play.
First down, it's Booth, and Booth is free past the Missouri secondary into state territory, and he's down near the 35. The 33-yard run for Booth into Mizzou territory.
We said State wanted to establish the run, now early with an explosive ground play.
And Coach Levy will call plays quickly. Van Buren to throw, near side, catch made by Kevin Coleman, his 63rd catch of the year, top 5 in the SEC. He's caught a pass now in 28 straight games.
One of the favorite targets, incidentally, for Mississippi State. That's twice now they've made completions on DeLoach.
6-yard completion. Look how quiet it is when Mississippi State is on offense. It won't be that case when Missouri has the ball. And that is a first down run for Booth as Marvin Burks Jr. makes the tackle.
A big collision with Burks Jr. on that tackle. Keep an eye on number 1 for Missouri in their secondary. Was a game time decision. Looked good in warm-ups, but took a big shot there on that tackle of Booth.
Booth is out. Johnny Daniels comes in. And it's Daniels hit near the line of scrimmage at the 20 by Tristan Newsom. It'll be second down for Mississippi State. This offense has clicked with Van Buren in there at quarterback in most of these games. A close loss to Texas A&M. Same situation against Georgia. They were in it early against Tennessee. And they knocked off a top 25 team today. On 2nd and 8, Van Buren slant, and he had Akari incomplete.
That ball dropped a little bit. I couldn't tell if it maybe got deflected en route. It's kind of tricky with the shadows down there. The ball did look like it dropped late. Akari, he had him on the inside of that coverage.
Mississippi State just 39% on 3rd down. Mizzou's one of the best 3rd down defenses in college football. Van Buren, Akari makes the catch, drops the ball, and it looks like Mizzou's recovered it. It's Nicholas Deloach that came in there. Tristan Newson as well. But they're calling it incomplete.
It was Deloach in coverage, gets blown up by Joseph Charleston. Jars that ball out. Ruled incomplete on the field. Effectively the same concept, back to back. You've seen Mississippi State, they stuck with what works. You get that big run by Booth. The same kind of run blocking scheme, ran that a couple of times, came back to it, just couldn't hang on to that one.
This is Kyle Ferry from 38 yards. And Mississippi State scores first. Ferry's now 9 of 11 kicking field goals on the season. 11:42 to go in the first quarter. Mississippi State 3, Missouri gets the ball for the first time next. Eli Drinkwitz and this Mizzou team haven't had a real experience in Stark Vegas at Davis-Wade Stadium. They're about to get it. Mizzou had that thrilling / heartbreaking game last week against South Carolina, depending on which side of it you were on. Brady Cook in the loss threw for 237 yards and that terrific touchdown to Luther Burden that gave Mizzou the lead late. But of course the Gamecocks went down the field to win it. On his last pass of the game, Cook threw an interception in desperation mode. Before that, 199 passes without an interception.
It's incredibly efficient, typically, especially when he's healthy.
That's Luther Burden on the first play, tossing it ahead, an LB3. And what will be ruled as a catch. Picks up 4 yards. Burden's now caught a ball in 33 straight games. That's the second longest streak in Mizzou history.
How about a tap pass? Easiest way to get him a sure completion. Also a great way to get your best playmaker a touch right out of the gate offensively.
On 2nd and 6, it's Noel. And a running back who went well over 100 last week against South Carolina only gets a couple. Suleiman Paka, the big defensive tackle, helped make the tackle there. It's 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that's the way you have to defend this Missouri run game. Get penetration. What they want to do is they want to get these big D linemen running laterally. What they typically do for Missouri, their backs do a great job of seeing the crease. Now see, Mississippi State can actually affect Brady Cook as a passer. We mentioned has not been as mobile and not near the threat he was early in the season with his feet if things break down.
On 3rd and 5, Cook's in trouble and he throws it to the bench. It's a 3 and out for Mizzou. Pressure applied by Brandon Jennings. 4th down.
Yeah, only a 3-man rush. So you think about it, you've got to be able to hold up in protection. And really what made Cook flush out of the pocket was the drive felt like that pressure from the left side. Marcus Bryant just kind of got walked back. And a great start for Mississippi State defensively.
Luke Bauer with a 42-yard average on the season, a graduate player from St. Louis. Kick it to Kevin Coleman. It's a very short punt, and Coleman fields it around the 37-yard line. Just a 33-yard punt. Mississippi State has the lead and the football when we come back. It's a perfect day for football here at Davis-Wade Stadium. Michael Van Buren and Mississippi State need that first big signature moment in the Jeff Levy era. Start this drive near the 38-yard line. And a quick throw to Coleman. Coleman runs past Akari, takes on Tigers into the Mississippi State bench.
How about that after the catch by Coleman? Or chatter afterwards. Maybe those guys know each other.
You think Coleman's fired up to play against his home state from St. Louis, arch rival of Luther Burden growing up. Coleman, of course, started his career at Jacksonville State, then went to Louisville, now is at Mississippi State, where he has flourished this year. Out the back door, there's Seydou Traoré. And Traore's near a first down, but short.
You see him kind of try to elevate. Right now, Mississippi State, very balanced. That first drive, 4 runs, 4 passes. Open up this drive very effectively to get it to this 3rd and short.
On 3rd and short, Booth, no, hit immediately by Corey Flagg Jr. Corey's been a terrific tackler for Mizzou this season, forces 4th down.
He just shot the gap. Does a great job. He comes right behind the puller. Mississippi State was trying to get a counter. You pull your backside guard, and Marlon Martinez, Justin Ball coming around. Flagg got in right behind it. A negative yardage play. Great stop. Missouri really both of these possessions to force the field goal and now a punt.
A couple of those Mizzou Tigers have that big club on their hand like Flagg does, and use that as a weapon out there on the field. First punt for Nick Barmira, UCLA transfer, a beauty. Fielded inside the 10 by Daniel Blood. Mizzou's been in some pressure cookers time and time again. Our crew was there to watch them beat Boston College in a 1-score game in the middle of September, and then we did go back home, but then we came back and watched double overtime as Mizzou held on to beat Vandy. He was in the hospital, Brady Cook, for a couple of those quarters, came back out and beat Auburn. The finish against OU was a thriller 2 weeks ago and a heartbreaker last week in the Mayor's Cup in South Carolina. Brady has the football inside his own 5-yard line. Swings it out, and that's going to be ruled, I believe, an incompletion to Burden. Well, no signal yet. The officials will talk about it. It was Hunter Washington that hit Burden, and they do rule it incomplete.
But Hunter Washington, great job. He triggers right away. So you can see it, you get it kind of that orbit motion. So you're trying to flip it out there wide to Burden. Hunter Washington was running downhill. Definitely an incomplete pass, but a big shot.
Officiating crews are taking a beat or two, aren't they, this year to make sure to get those calls correct on the field, and they certainly did with that one. Noel spins and doesn't get much. Stone Blanton, one of the best tacklers in the SEC, was in the backfield there.
Mississippi State has been very aggressive. When you see them, they're trusting their eyes. A previous play, you see what they're going to get, you know it, and then to trigger upfield. Stone Blanton, same thing.
I think that these officials are talking here about whether that was a turnover or not.
Saw the previous play where Hunter Washington came up. Luther Burden did not possess that football. The question is Stone Blanton able to get the ball out?
And they are going to take a look at this. David Smith, our referee today, just announced that he will go take a look with the communicator Blake Parks and the replay official Rick Louis Met. He's in the shadows over there, so a little tough to see the ball here, but let's take a look as Blanton makes that hit. And when Noel goes down to the ground, the ball comes out.
It did not look like the ball was out prior to Noel making contact with the ground here. But as you mentioned, Taylor, it really is tricky.
And the ruling is, in fact, a fumble on the field. Recovered by Mississippi State.
Well, there's Blanton come up. That ball does look like it may have come out. Blanton, he kind of stuck his right arm in there. Noel had the ball in his outside arm, his right arm. As you mentioned, Taylor, it was ruled a fumble. Potential takeaway now for Mississippi State.
That was definitely our best look that David Smith is looking at as well. And you tell me where you think this ball comes out, because this is the time of the day. It's really tough to see the ball there. Looks like his elbow makes contact with the field there, Stinch.
But was the ball moving prior to his elbow making contact with the ground? You know, had Stone Blanton jarred it loose a little bit as he spun around. Really hard to see that with that transition from light to dark there over there near the 10-yard line.
Let's see what David Smith saw.
After video review, the runner had a body part down prior to losing control of the ball. Therefore, will be Missouri's ball at the 7-yard line, 3rd down.
Big break for Missouri.
Yep.
Maybe in that DV sport machine, they have the infrared green lighting that helps see the field, but that was tough in real time.
Either way, you know, the Bulldogs defense dialed in here early. Now it's back-to-back big plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. You can see they are schooled up on what they expected to get from Missouri here in the early going.
Well, at least for the moment, it's a big break. Instead of State having a 1st and goal at Mizzou 7, it's a 3rd and 12 with Jamal Roberts standing next to Cook as his protector.
Well, last time Mississippi State was able to get home with just 3 rushers to affect Brady Cook.
And he's in trouble, gets out of the end zone, but he's down at the 1. Jailbreak blitz. Zachary Tillman ultimately made the tackle. Isaac Smith in there as well.
Coleman Hauser changing it up now. He only brought 3 last time, brings 6. Overwhelms the protection to the left side. You see the back and the left tackle. Marcus Pratt just a little confused as to who's taking who.
Luke Bauer is basically in West Point, Mississippi, where he is punting this ball from.
Mississippi State looks like they're coming after.
Barely in the back of that end zone. Punt lands at the 40 where Coleman makes the catch, and he's down to the Mizzou 31 to start this series. Let's go down to the field and Alyssa.
One of the things after that last Mississippi State offensive drive that they were talking about on the sidelines, guys, offensive line coach Cody Kennedy got in the faces of his own line, preaching gap integrity. He said, guys, we got to be able to run the football. Linebackers beating you, finding space, and taking our running backs down in the backfield, not going to get it done. So getting on his guys a little bit up front. Stinch, curious to see what you see on this next drive.
Yeah, well, these guys, you know, look, early on especially, had a couple of nice explosive plays to make sure that they maintain their edge. Got some big bodies for Missouri in there at defensive tackle. Could be a challenge all game long.
Van Buren hands it to Booth, and Booth is hit quickly by Caleb Flagg. The Flagg boys have been in there on the tackles, the last couple of them. Both, of course, from Houston, Texas, coming in from other programs. Corey coming in from Miami, Caleb coming in from Houston Christian. There's a pickup of 2 on the play. Now Van Buren facing pressure, loses the ball, recovered by Missouri. On the run, it's Dalen Carnell. Carnell is gone. Scoop and score for 6. Christian Williams forced the fumble, and Carnell took it to the house.
What a turn of events. So Missouri sweating a turnover of their own. Do a great job of winning in the pass rush. Beat at left tackle almost right now by Eddie Kelly Jr. Forced Van Buren up. Really poor ball security in the pocket. And a defensive touchdown. So far, Missouri struggling offensively. The defense says, hey, we'll take it from here. And Jeff Levy has to be incredibly frustrated. He talked to us saying, Mark, what we talked to with Van Buren, you've got to protect the football better.
Oh, you said it. Alternative events indeed. The offense has been asleep. Blake Craig makes the extra point. Hey, 2 weeks ago, Zion Young had the longest fumble recovery for a touchdown for Mizzou in 6 years. 2 weeks later, a 67-yard return by Carnell tops that. Touchdown, Mizzou.
Mississippi State squandering a scoring opportunity in their opening possession. Great field position on the second possession. And somehow Missouri flips it for a touchdown.
They have -3 total yards, but they have the lead. Let's go to the studio and Dari Noka.
All righty, guys, thank you much. And the always unpredictable SEC, just like the rest of college football. Kentucky stride for stride with Texas in Austin. Brock Vandegrift, 4 yards to Josh Caddis. Nice, successful 9-play drive has it tied at 7 midway through the second.
Thank you, sir. We'll keep an eye on that one. And then, of course, Alabama and Oklahoma tonight. Texas A&M at Auburn.
Man, what a slate.
Plenty of landmines out there across the SEC footprint. So Van Buren and the state offense try to shake off that turnover for a score. Back on the field at the 25. Van Buren over the top. Had Akari, but overthrew him. Second down.
Just too much. You could see Van Buren adjust Akari's split to get just a little bit wider, and it changed the leverage of Norwood. Norwood doesn't get a lot of tests. Doesn't get a lot of balls thrown his way. Akari had a step on him. Just too much from Van Buren.
On second down, it's a run play to Johnny Daniels, and Daniels will get 1. It'll be 3rd and 9. You were saying it during the commercial break, Matt. We talked to Jeff Lebby yesterday about Michael Van Buren and the growth he's making as a true freshman quarterback. One of the things he has to work on is when there's trouble, dirt the ball. What does that mean?
Well, it means just get rid of it. You have to have great ball security. Don't throw it to the other team. You got to secure it. Don't have it flopping around. I ended up with the fumble that last possession.
On 3rd and 9, it's an incompletion thrown at the feet of Justin Ball, and it is a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, this is now an offense that looks very much out of sorts. They could not have started more strongly. Clipped right down the field, got some explosive runs, a 33-yarder from Booth. But you take that shot on first down, you miss it. Gets you behind. You try to run it on second, and it's going to be tough for Missouri, especially on the inside runs with their size at D tackle.
Barmira had a nice 48-yard punt his first time. This is another beauty. Blood catches at the 25 and is nailed immediately. Nice tackle in the open field by John Lewis. Coming up next, we'll have LSU hosting Vandy in Death Valley. It's also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. LSU has lost 3 straight football games going into this tilt tonight in Tiger Stadium against the upstart Vanderbilt team led by Clark Lee and his quarterback Diego Pavia. Already bowl eligible. Win that one. That's a 7th win on the season.
Or whatever percent of the game is mental. That's a mental game for LSU. What's their mindset like tonight?
And that's Marcus Carroll that's getting loose for 6 yards. Carroll, who was an all Sun Belt player last year, beat out Nate Noel for that honor. Carroll played at Georgia State. Noel played at App State. Now they both play for Missouri.
And kind of that 1-2 punch. We'll also expect to see number 11, Kewan Lacey. He'll get some carries as well. An explosive runner on the perimeter.
There's a 6-yard carry on first down. Cook tried to throw at the last second to Jordan Harris. Overshot him. It's 3rd down.
Really all that is, this is where they would typically have Cook pull and keep on the backside of some of these runs. And they've kind of amended that. He's been banged up. They can't afford to get him hurt. And so he pulls it, dumps it. Now, we've seen Mississippi State on the 2 third downs. One where they got home with a 3-man rush. The other was nearly a safety. They brought 6. They've got 3 down linemen in the game. Will they bring some of these second-level defenders as well?
On 3rd and 4, Cook hands it off, and it's Jamal Roberts, the 3rd down back, who carries the Mississippi State defense up to the 45-yard line.
How about that? So you're thinking pressure, passing down. You got Roberts in there, who's, as you mentioned, more of their protection specialist. Great job. Just covering up color. Make sure offensively you just cover up the defenders. Allow your back to get downhill. Big conversion for Missouri there.
Play action. Throws it down the field. Double coverage down there. Caught. What a catch by Marquise Johnson.
All Marquise Johnson does is catch big passes. That's it. Last week, he had one catch for 49 yards. Watch him here, the big over route. They load up, play action, and are able to sneak it in there over Corey Ellington, who was running underneath that coverage.
That one was 45. Now it's Roberts, who gets near the 5. Perfectly thrown ball and caught in between two guys.
And look at that. I mean, look at the holding. You're sitting there trying to pull him back. Johnson still able to fight through it. Had a similar catch last week versus South Carolina. Very similar circumstance. Drew a flag, still came up with the catch. Did so again here. No flag came out. But a very physical route and a great finish at the end.
We've seen Noel, we've seen Roberts. This is Marcus Carroll again. And Carroll breaks tackles and gets near the 2. It has been by committee for Missouri at tailback this season. After Cody Schrader led the nation in rushing over 1,600 yards last year for Eli Drinkwitz, he has 4 guys he can count on in the backfield. And that doesn't include his quarterback, Brady Cook, who can run it too.
And that'll be a question. Is that element available? The other is touchdowns. Missouri's very efficient in scoring in the red zone, but not as many touchdowns as you would seek to get. You see that big shift. They got big Mitch Hyatt over there on the right side, and timeout Mississippi State. You could see that big shift, that big number 75 substitute in there as an extra blocker to the right side of the formation.
Well, you just said, is Brady Cook and the running part of his game available to him today? That's because of the injury he suffered against Auburn earlier this season. He was hurt in the first quarter of that game, came back 2 quarters later, down 17-6, led the team to a come-from-behind victory that included a 17-play, 95-yard scoring drive to win the game. And then, of course, against Alabama, he hurts his wrist. So he's dealing with multiple injuries, playing through them, and commanding all of his teammates' respect.
Yeah, you can see the passing yards, still a very effective passer. Now Missouri goes unbalanced. They got big Hyatt, or Walters rather, on the left side.
They go to Carroll straight ahead. Carroll fighting, touchdown.
Running to the left side, big unbalanced look. Carroll just goes right down the hash mark, and it's that second and third effort that gets him in the end zone. He's not down. I think the fans here, Davis Wade, are saying it's clearly a touchdown. Maybe they thought forward progress had stalled too long. No whistle, and a physical finish by Carroll. 2 nice runs here in the low red zone.
The defense wakes up the offense, and suddenly, just like that, Missouri's up 11 points. And each of these backs, Matt, have their own role. That's the power guy, Marcus Carroll. Nate Noel's your every down quick back. Kewan Lacey now has turned into the change of pace tailback. We haven't seen him in this game yet, but he's flourished in the last few weeks. And then Jamal Roberts is the third down back that moved the chains to keep the drive alive.
Yeah, that was a huge play. That's the key to this drive, right? You think about it, it's about 3rd and 4 or 5. Are they going to bring pressure? How are you going to protect? Protection's been an issue on 3rd downs already for Missouri. They say, forget it. Let's get out of that phase. We're going to run the football. Roberts with that key conversion. And that kind of launched that drive. Great job by Brady Cook. Gets that ball downfield to Johnson. That was set up, though, by the 3rd down conversion. The offense finally waking up. The Missouri defense, keeping them not necessarily in it, forcing the field goal. And then in the opposite possession, the very ensuing possession, finding a way to get the ball back when you're defending a 50-yard field. Great job by the Missouri Tiger defense to set up their offense.
Really disastrous series of events for Mississippi State. You're up 3-0. You have the ball at Missouri's 30-yard line, and then everything falls apart.
The fumble really did change everything. You know, that opening drive, you're clipping right along. Get that big run. Your 4 passes, your 4 runs, you're very balanced, and you get a drop. You get a pass broken up with the Akari. Otherwise, you're right there on the doorstep, if not scoring. And since that fumble, you set up, obviously give up a touchdown on that fumble, and then punt the football away, and Missouri able to capitalize by landing a few haymakers of their own. I'll find a way to get that ground game going a little bit and settle down their freshman quarterback.
Saw Coach Levy trying to do that to him on the sideline. He comes back out firing and throws a missile to Kevin Coleman for a first down.
That's a good way to settle him down, too. How about this? Well, let's see if you can't get the ball to your surest-handed receiver, Kevin Coleman.
14-yard pickup for one of several number 3s from St. Louis in this game. Now Van Buren throws the fade, incomplete over Seydou Traore and Marvin Burks. Burks had Traore covered up and then tackled as the ball was going out of bounds.
The ball was out of bounds. And the fans here sitting there going, hey, wait a minute. You just tackled our tight end out there. But you could see, Van Buren and this coaching staff not scared to stretch the football down the field vertically with their quarterback.
2nd and 10. Here's another ball to Coleman. Tackled immediately by Toriano Pride. Makes it 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, and right now Mississippi State's just taking the money that's on the table. So if you've got off coverage, it's an easy access throw. Get the ball out there to Coleman, who's demonstrated he is physical with the ball in his hands after the catch. As you mentioned, that effort after that one to get it to 3rd and short.
Coleman's had at least 4 catches in every game, and he already has 4 today. 3rd and 3. And a run by Booth right at that yellow line. It's enough to move the chains.
Yeah, the near side linesman came running out there. They're able to get that conversion. Booth, a no-nonsense run. There's no reason to do anything else. To get downhill, try to convert the sticks, sustain this drive, partly keep your defense off the field.
Quick ball to Akari. And at the end of the play, flags are all over the field as Toriano Pride and Akari are jawing there, rather. Oh, and a punch is just thrown away from the ball. There's another flag that comes out. Chuck Hicks just threw a punch at the end of this play.
He'd already gotten Hicks. It looked as if Hicks had already drawn a penalty prior to throwing the punch. You have to think they're looking at this play for targeting with Corey Flagg coming in there late. There's a chance that there are 2 penalty flags on the same player for 2 different incidences.
Well, David Smith's sorting all this out. He's just confirming the number there.
After the play was over, personal foul, a hit on a defenseless player, Missouri, number 11. Also, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 30 on the defense. Both of those 15-yard penalties will be enforced. Automatic first down.
Here's the catch with Akari. He stood up, plays over, boom. Corey Flagg comes in there, takes a free shot. That's a flag. Surprised. I'm surprised that they didn't look at this for targeting. You're coming in there. I mean, that's forcible contact. He's not defenseless at that point, but also looked as if he hit him perhaps with the crown of his helmet. They're saying that penalty's enough.
And then you have a 7th-year senior in Chuck Hicks that throws that punch. And now suddenly Mississippi State, after an extra 30 yards in penalties, snapped this from the Mizzou 16.
The defense creating some of its own adversity here. See if he can find a way to stop. You saw State offensively stagnate down here early.
Booth down to near the 11 where Corey Flagg makes the tackle.
I like the way Booth runs the ball. You know, there's not a whole lot of jumping around back there. He's not throwing moves on air. You see some of these backs, they're doing a lot. Sometimes you just got to see the hole hit the hole. Booth in this game already very effective, very clean runner. Spits his foot in the ground and gets downhill.
Still in Van Buren's hands and a touchdown. Jordan Mosley. Melissa said it, without Mario Craver in the lineup, other receivers would have to step up. And the junior from Mobile, Alabama, with the reception for a touchdown. Seven plays, 75 yards. Missouri's penalty yards had something to do with that drive as well.
Yeah, call it 7 plays, 45 yards, right? You had 30 of those in penalties. Look at the patience of the RPO. And Mosley inside the coverage of Nick DeLoach all afternoon. Early on for DeLoach at the corner. You can see Mississippi State, they talked about it. They felt as if they would have opportunity in the passing game. And they have definitely taken advantage of that. Those penalty yards, pivotal on that drive. Otherwise, yeah, the Mississippi State offense is having a hard time finding their rhythm again.
When you think of this as not what Jeff Levy thought he would have in game 11 of the season, thought he'd have Blake Shapen playing quarterback for him. Shapen had a season-ending shoulder injury in game 4 against the Florida Gators. So instead, he has a true freshman in Michael Van Buren, who's now made 7 starts against 5 top 25 teams. Fielded by Johnson at the 4. And Marquise just past the 20-yard line. Mississippi State's good in special teams. Kelly Jones with a tackle there. Braylon Burnside with a nice tackle in special teams on a punt earlier. Some of their most talented young players are on special teams, certain to be playing on offense and defense in the future.
We talked about the way this game got cranked up for Missouri. Really quiet start, a couple of 3-and-outs. It took a defensive touchdown to kind of jumpstart this football team offensively, able to get that drive going. Had some explosive plays and a big 3rd down conversion.
Cook throws. That's a wobbly ball that Burden makes the grab on and goes out of bounds up past the 25-yard line where Hunter Washington tackles LB3. And that will be the last play of the quarter.
Yeah, Taylor, that was one of the throws that, we talked about it, watching Brady Cook. As we mentioned, this guy's gutting it out. He's playing through an injury to his throwing hand at wrist. Can't snap the hand as well.
As long as Burden can catch it, he can do something with it. Good atmosphere today in Stark Vegas, Missouri, on top with the football as we go to the second quarter. Starting all those games. That first game and the fourth game were closer than the score would indicate, too.
These 2 10-point losses, too, Taylor, in there. Georgia and A&M both.
Cook slings it for a first down, and then Theo Weiss gets loose up near the 39, calling Weiss's name for the first time today. He's now caught a pass in 25 straight.
The 2 Bulldogs converging on what should have been a tackle. They end up taking each other out. Hunter Washington has been a loose cannon on the deck. He's come flying up a couple of times. Got to get a little bit under control. He ended up knocking Brylan Lanier off of that tackle. Theo Weiss Jr. took advantage of it.
Luther Burden has 55 catches. Weiss has 48. Those 2 guys have been by far Brady Cook's favorite targets this season.
We were talking with Mississippi State yesterday. They mentioned, look, you can't afford to devote too many resources to one guy. It looks like Lanier's still a little bit shaken up after that play. He's being looked at by the training staff.
Just on the other side of the state is where Brylo's from, Tuscaloosa. We'll be back in just a moment. Brylo Lanier off of the field after an injury and goes into the tent. Missouri has a 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line, with cowbells clanging in Brady Cook's ears. As you hear, you can't do it during the snap. Then you can start immediately again. And that's Nate Noel spinning for a couple of yards. Stone Blanton with another tackle. It really is, Matt, one of the more unique environments you will find in American sports. And your ears are ringing for days if you're not used to it.
I'm amazed that, the home crowd, they hear it clanging too. I have people out here with like earplugs. It don't just affect the opposing team. You're up here ringing those cowbells. It's ringing in your ears as much as anyone's.
Good run there on a 2nd down by Noel, who gets a burst of speed. And he gets all the way down to the 46. There is a flag on the field.
Holding. 74 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, 2nd down.
They got right guard Cameron Johnson. Mississippi State brought Isaac Smith. Safety blitz. See number two in there. And they're saying that I guess he's got him locked up a little too much. I got to tell you, from that angle, really tough to see what elicited that holding penalty. A big one, though, nonetheless.
It sure is. Instead of a gain of 10, it's a loss of 6, and it's 2nd and 12. Cook throws it underneath the Weiss. Weiss spins his way up to the 45. Isaac Smith with another tackle. Isaac had 20 tackles in his last game against Tennessee. Leads the conference with over 100 tackles on the year, and he missed one game.
Active, to say the least, in that secondary. See Jamal Roberts in the backfield with Brady Cook. As we mentioned, got good hands, understands protection, but on a 3rd down earlier, they handed the football off and were able to get a conversion.
Cook facing pressure, gets out of there, and runs for the 1st down.
I'll tell you what, he looked healthy on that scramble. And not a hint of any type of injury with that ankle. That's what we're talking about with Brady Cook. The guy hasn't rushed for positive yards the last 3 times out. That's unbelievable pocket presence. It's hard to wrap your head around. How can a guy feel this? He just feels it. You don't see it. To duck under that and able to pick up positive yards. What a great play.
Brandon Jennings had one arm on him in the backfield, but couldn't get the second. We were waiting to see Kewan Lacey. Here he is standing next to Cook on this 1st down. And takes the ball and runs up to the 40. True freshman from Dallas, has become a contributor during conference play, but is slow moving after that hit there on a 6-yard pickup.
It was a pretty big collision at the end of that. And we're talking with offensive coordinator and play caller Kirby Moore last night. Said he was talking to his dad. His dad was like, hey, that number 11, he's a pretty good football player. His dad, of course, old football coach, knows what he's talking about. As you see Lacey kind of get his wits about it. Not the most steady on his feet, it doesn't look like. This is just a straight downhill run. Watch at the end. He and Stone Blanton. Big collision there. See Lacey checking out. This is the first that we've seen of him this afternoon, and I'm sure he'll be evaluated.
Smith and Blanton have over 200 combined tackles on the season. Number 1 and number 4 in the SEC in tackles, and Mississippi State has needed all of them.
They've got 10 already this afternoon.
So Noel comes back in after Lacey goes out, and Nate runs down to the Mississippi State 29. 11 more.
Big hole on the left side. Really well blocked by Missouri up front. Just clean into the line of scrimmage. Look at that. I mean, really not a defender in the picture for the first 10 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Missouri leads the SEC in time of possession with over 32 minutes per contest. They can go fast when they want, but they typically don't. And Noel will get a few more down to the 24-yard line.
Right now, they're just grinding it out. They said, look, we're going to leave this on the ground. Our offensive front's asserting itself. Got some nice looks to get downhill, and now jumping into a little bit of tempo.
Noel in the backfield. Tackle for loss. Suleiman Paca.
That's the second time here in the first half that Paca's able to get upfield. He slipped the block. But Caden Green, he's right there between he and center. Drake Heismeyer just gets upfield. When you're trying to run that stretch play, the last thing the offense wants is penetration. Coleman Hutzler able to get his defensive lineman upfield to disrupt that run.
Cook. Nothing's open. He'll take off. Throw to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Burton. Wow. Even when he isn't open, he makes the catch.
Even when he's getting mugged in coverage. I'm amazed the flag didn't come out. He and Corey Ellington were literally wrestling in the back of that end zone. Luther Burden able to create just enough separation. What focus. How about the trust of Brady Cook? Give your best player a chance to make a play for you.
This is truly one of the best receivers in Mizzou history. You think of the fact that they had guys like Jeremy Macklin. This is an all-time Mizzou great. Burden, touchdown, Missouri.
Today.
Yeah. They are
fantastic. Hey, you know what? I bet they get the bowl eligibility, Taylor.
I can guarantee it, Matthew. Now 6-5 on the season.
Yeah.
One of us on this crew went on SEC Network and said the Gators would win 7 games before the season started. She's on the field right now. Of course, Florida plays at Florida State next week. But that's the thing is all season, Matt, people have been saying that there's been chalk flying. Hey, Alyssa, there's going to be more upsets tonight and or next week.
Regarding my prediction, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again. Is that the phrase?
That's the phrase, but you are a well-respected mind in the SEC, my friend.
Chaos is the name of the game this year.
Exactly. Booth gets up near the 30-yard line. I think if you were really Nostradamus, Alyssa, you would tell us, where's the next one coming? Tonight in Auburn? In Norman? Is it next week?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I will say this week I predicted that Ole Miss Florida would be the game.
Hey.
That caused some chaos. So not to toot my own horn again, let me think about next week.
2nd and 5 now for Mississippi State at their own 30-yard line, and Booth will get a couple. It'll be 3rd down. Of course, we have the return of Texas and Texas A&M next week. Mizzou playing their rivalry game against Arkansas. The Egg Bowl is on Friday. Ole Miss, heartbreaking loss to the Gators.
Man.
Got the Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa.
A lot of fun rivalries to finish this thing off.
On 3rd and 3, Van Buren throws and throws low, too low and too hard at Kevin Coleman's feet.
Unlikely that Coleman would have been able to get the yardage needed anyway. Caught it right at the line of scrimmage. You're trying to move the pocket, and he really just couldn't get outside of Johnny Walker. He's able to get upfield quickly, and Van Buren a little bit shaken up at the end of that throw.
Coach Levy's team goes quickly to the sideline to punt. And Barmira out there for the third time. Another good one. And a fair catch by Daniel Blood, made inside his 20-yard line. Tonight it's SEC football final with Dari Noko, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. Take you through the biggest stories of the day and break down all the SEC games. That is after Vanderbilt and LSU tonight. Maybe that's where the next upset comes.
There you go. When we talk about, the mindset of some of these teams, an LSU team that we were a game ago talking about, well, maybe they can find their way into the conference championship game. Maybe this is a team that could backdoor their way into the playoff. Now they're on the outside of both of those conversations. Where's their head at? Knowing that Vanderbilt being the upstart team that they've been all season long.
Low snap. Cook fields it and makes something out of nothing.
Last week, before the big fourth down conversion by Cook, he had a little bit of ball handling issue, confusion in the backfield. Good job just fielding that one.
Alyssa?
Last Missouri drive, we saw Kewan Lacey go into the 10. In the last few minutes, he has gone back into the locker room, so he's not out here right now. I'll keep you all updated when I find out more.
Just had that one carry, and Stone Blanton made a hard tackle on Lacey. It's Marcus Carroll who's in the game right now. And Marcus will fall forward as Blanton makes another tackle for a couple. It'll be third down.
Pretty good job holding the point right there to force this third down. We talk about the last two scoring drives by Missouri. It was these third downs that were pivotal. About this distance to go. One was Jamal Roberts. He gets that pop set run. On the previous possession, it was Brady Cook scrambling out of the pressure and able to pick up the yardage needed.
Much better than last week, right? They were 1 of 9 on third down last week. 4 of 6 today. Cook, wide open target. Weiss streaking into state territory.
Well, Pollock looked like he was confused there. I don't know how Weiss gets behind him. So watch Pollock. He thinks he's got help over the top. Right now, he doesn't. You see him did not even make contact. Weiss with a clean release. Clearly confusion as to what coverage was being played by the Bulldogs secondary, and an easy pitch and catch. What should have otherwise been a contested throw. Another big third down conversion for Missouri.
That one for 38 yards. Luther Burden was the first man over to celebrate with his tag team partner, Mr. Weiss. Noel for a couple more.
Pocket in there again with the play. Mississippi State's playing pretty good to get to these third downs. It's not like a third and an easy conversion, but it's the third downs that have undone their efforts. You can win on first and second down, get it to a third down. The Mizzou do an excellent job of extending these drives with the conversions on third.
The upcoming games tonight, ABC, ESPN, and SEC Network flip around like crazy, like Lang, Stinchcomb, and Zarzer will be doing.
They can't get enough screens going.
2nd and 7, and there's a good run from Noel again. Nice burst of speed as Blanton makes the tackle, but not before Noel moves the chains.
And Noel with nice patience. Good blocking up front as well. You see, we talk about how that zone concept, where what you're trying to do is get those guys running east and west so that your back can hit it north and south. What they don't want is that upfield penetration. We've seen Mississippi State has some success with that. When they don't, the Tigers runners are really good at seeing those creases and hitting.
Cook still has the ball, and he's down inside the 25. It's always fun to talk to Coach Drinkwitz on a Friday before the game, or before the game, as I was doing on the field today. He is a big believer in the middle 8 minutes of a game as we approach that mark. See how slowly and methodical Missouri goes here, because remember, they get the ball first in the second half.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, right? You talk about the time of possession, how Missouri leads.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 players on the field while the ball was snapped. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot results in a first down.
I was wondering why he was going quicker there. That's why.
Trying to trap a player on the field. Saw that. That proved to be a big penalty last week, that Georgia-Tennessee game. Too many men on the field. Couldn't sub them out. But Drinkwitz here, the idea being, as you were talking about, try to shorten this half and get back-to-back possessions. Try to limit your opponent's opportunity to squeeze and a score. Mississippi State got the ball first to start this half. If you're Missouri, you want to get points and limit the opportunity for Mississippi State on the back end of this possession.
Noel squirts out, and that's Marcus Carroll squirts out for a touchdown. 19 yards. On one play, it's 8. The next play, it's 9. It doesn't matter. Noel and Carroll gashing this Mississippi State defense. Puts the finishing touches on the third consecutive 75-yard touchdown drive. Couldn't do anything early. Now this Mizzou backfield is feeling it. All Tigers.
And even coming from some less than expected sources. You think about Roberts getting in on the action. Kewan Lacey, as Alyssa mentioned earlier, being looked at, had to go into the locker room. So a more abbreviated running back roster available right now for the Tigers.
Read and React is hosted by Cole Kubelik and Roman Harper. Each week they'll take a look back at biggest plays, players, and games from the weekend. That's Monday nights at 7 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We got you covered every day. Stinch is in there on Tuesdays. Alyssa's on TV on Wednesdays. I go hang out with those knuckleheads, Doring and Burns, on Fridays. And then we come here to Stark Vegas. That's after a great meal at Anthony's, by the way, on Friday night. Over the middle, Van Buren throws a dart to Mosley. And Jordan is up past the 40.
I'll say this, Michael Van Buren, such a young player, excellent ball handling. Does a really good job on some of the ball fakes as well. That ball came out hot. Looked like it might have been deflected at the line of scrimmage before it made it.
16-yard completion and another slant. That one to Justin Ball. The Vandy transfer makes his 7th catch of the year. It's another first down.
Quick catch and throw. Just stab that in there. There's no way he gets the laces. Just get the ball and get it out.
Unlike Missouri, Jeff Lebby likes to go about as fast as anybody. Van Buren just throws that one away. He's still in the pocket. There's no one over there.
Well, Kari didn't even really leave the line of scrimmage. Definitely on different pages there. Communication with his receiver.
It's hard to call intentional grounding when there's miscommunication with the quarterback and the receiver.
Right. And he was not under duress, right? Ball came out quickly. He was expecting his receiver to just run a go route at the top of your screen there. It just never happened.
See Van Buren's numbers here in the first half.
Targeted Kevin Coleman in a while. He's down there in the slot at the bottom of your screen.
Instead, Johnny Daniels squirts out of there and gets near a first down. As Hicks makes the tackle, it'll be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, right now, Missouri a little bit on their heels, especially with some of these RPO looks. You see Van Buren's looking to the sideline to see, is it a give read or a throw read?
On 3rd and 2, extra effort by Booth. McClellan missed the tackle. That's Daniels, excuse me. Daniels spins in there for the first down.
I was surprised that we didn't see a defensive offsides. It looked like Zion Young was in the neutral zone. Didn't matter. Got the yardage needed to convert.
Van Buren slings it over the middle. An easy pitch and catch to Coleman. There he is. 17 yards.
It's been there repeatedly. Move to the left side of the formation, come back to the right side, now back to the left side of the formation. Looking to get inside, outside leverage in the coverage, and they're able to get these slants in.
Start of this play, Coleman is back there with Daniels on each side of Van Buren. And MVP will take off and give himself up at the 16-yard line, just gets a couple. Chris McClellan is still down on the field for Mizzou. McClellan, the big interior lineman, came over from Florida. Coach Drinkwitz coming out there to check on him.
And McClellan was in on that play. It looked like at the end of it. You know, this is a tempo offense in Mississippi State. The conference, the SEC, is very vigilant about injuries and their validity, their authenticity. And it did look as if McClellan was a little bit shaken up. So you see him, yeah, he gets clipped by his own teammate. This isn't one of those where you see a guy kind of go down because he needs to go down. Definitely looked like that was the real deal. Still kind of limping on his way out. He got kicked right in the kneecap. And as we know, knee pads are not knee pads anymore. They are lower thigh pads.
Well, Mississippi State's offense is not on the field, so they're going to let this run down to the 2-minute timeout. They are at Missouri's 15-yard line, down 28-10 here in a beautiful Saturday evening in Starkville, Mississippi. Missouri looking for a road victory in the SEC.
Take you around the country. It's gotten wild here. What do you make so far of what we've seen?
Impressed with the mindset of Missouri so far.
I'm impressed with their offense. 240 yards.
Travis Hunter just caught a touchdown and struck a Heisman post, people.
I wonder why.
Meanwhile here, Booth gets down inside the 11-yard line. Yeah, Hunter, one of the many players we're watching closely at the end of the season. Knows if there's still an SEC player who could make their way to New York. 3rd and 4. Booth again. Short of the first down marker, but there is a flag down in the backfield.
On the offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
It's just so hard. It's a run that's intended to go inside. The runner bounces outside. It's really tough. See Justin Ball coming all the way across. You're expecting that run to go inside. He just doesn't cut loose of Johnny Walker. Takes him all the way to the ground. Cost Mississippi State some yardage. And still get a first down. Plenty of time with 1.5 minutes.
And that takes Mississippi State back to the 21. Coach Drinkwitz called timeout before that ball was snapped.
Timeout. Missouri.
See Drake kind of hustle down there to get that timeout. 3rd and 10 plus.
Well, last week, heartbreaking loss to South Carolina, snapping a 5-game winning streak against the Gamecocks, but still in the top 25, not in the college football playoff picture or the SEC championship picture. So I think everybody's wondering, okay, so what's next for Missouri this season? They can still win 10 games after winning 11 last year, taking the program to a new level. And Coach Drinkwitz said this game and next week against Arkansas is important for the trajectory of the program. So quickly with all the parity in college football, you lose a game or two and people think you're yesterday's news. You got to keep the momentum going.
No question, and especially with what happens during off seasons in today's college football. A lot of roster fluidity.
On 3rd and 14, Van Buren flushed out. Throws short. Caught inside the 10 by Ball, but it'll be 4th and goal from there.
You know, the pocket was kind of collapsing around him. He had a chance to get it into Jordan Mosley, and they're saying, hey, look, we got to get points right here, knowing that they don't get the ball first in the second half.
4th and 2 to get a first down. They're 17 of 30 on the year. Van Buren throws. That's a first down inside the 5 to Coleman.
Stab it in there. Go to your most reliable guy. Kevin Coleman coming up big for his quarterback. Put it right on his number.
Booth. Touchdown. There are flags down.
Holding on the offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
It's on left guard, Jacoby Jackson. Yeah, that's a good call. Easy call. We'll spin him all the way around. You don't have to do it. Working against big Sterling Webb. Something about back-to-back. Now, not nearly back-to-back anyway. 2 holding penalties. State able to overcome the first one. Take points off the board on this last one.
1st and goal from the 13. Van Buren on the design quarterback run. Down inside the 8 where Newsom tackles him.
Important to note, can't get a first down. Backed up. It was 1st and goal prior to that Van Buren run.
So 12th play of the drive. Mississippi State does have 2 timeouts left. Instead, Missouri will use one.
That's twice we've seen Missouri. I want to make sure that they're dialed in. Clock was stopped in both instances.
Coach Drinkwitz we were asking about his familiarity with Coach Jeff Lebby. They had a long conversation on the field, and he said, I feel pretty familiar with him because I feel like we just played them 2 weeks ago. Lebby was the offensive coordinator for his alma mater, Oklahoma, the last couple of years. And after a mid-season change in Oklahoma's coaching staff, Coach Drinkwitz said 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma, they're basically running the same offense that Coach Lebby ran last year.
I brought in Dana Holgerson as a quote-unquote analyst. Was quickly promoted to play caller. So Missouri felt as if they'd already had a look. Obviously different personnel, but with that style of offense.
This is the 12th play of the drive. And Buren throws to the end zone. Back shoulder no good to Mosley, who had Norwood on him. And clearly Coach Lebby did a terrific job at his alma mater to gain this opportunity as a head coach. You look at the difference between 1 year to the last at OU. And of course Oklahoma left the Big 12 for the SEC and also lost their quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who transferred to Oregon.
Yeah, I do think the least scrutinized change though about this difference in the Oklahoma offense is the Jeff Lebby effect. Totally different play caller in Norman.
On 3rd and goal, Van Buren pocket collapsing, throws it to the end zone over his intended target. Johnny Walker had Van Buren's jersey there. 4th down.
And every fan in the stadium was holding their breath because Van Buren's got this ball out one hand, trying to balance himself. We saw earlier a catastrophic fumble return for a touchdown. Van Buren able to maintain possession long enough to dump it to allow the field goal attempt.
And I know Coach Lebby's disappointed to settle for 3, but that's the right call there on a 26-yard field goal attempt here for Ferry. 28-13. With 30 seconds to go in the half. Missouri does have one timeout.
Think about all those plays. 13 snaps. Ate up about 4 minutes of clock. That is an upside for sure. Otherwise, you end that thing a little bit earlier. Give the ball back to Missouri with a little bit of time on their hands. We've seen the Tigers offense explosive, and also, as we've mentioned, Tigers get the ball first in the second half.
And Matt, we were talking about Coach Levy coming over here. It is building it from scratch, really. 30 of the 36 touchdowns Mississippi State had coming into this game were scored by someone that wasn't on the roster.
It's incredible.
Last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just immediate, not just contribution, but need. These new faces having to show up and contribute quickly.
State did have a 3-0 lead in the first quarter and had the ball at Missouri's 30-yard line, but Michael Van Buren fumbled the ball. Dalen Carnell picked it up and returned it 67 yards for a fumble recovery for touchdown. And Missouri has found their stride since.
So this could very easily be a very different game. You think about Mississippi State capitalizes on that opening possession. They take advantage of a very short field. Rather, they turn it over and it goes the other direction. Has really kind of flipped the script on Mississippi State in the first half.
All right, see how aggressive Coach Drinkwitz gets here. Instead, he just runs it with Noel, and Noel's tackled by Lanier, who's back in the game. Looks like Coach Drinkwitz will be comfortable with this 15-point lead. He does get the football first, as Missouri Tigers do, to start the second half.
This was a Missouri offense that was kind of stumbling out of the gate. Took that defensive score to kind of spark that sideline. They've been pretty efficient ever since. Outside of that possession right there, nothing but touchdowns. 3 straight for the Tiger offense.
Brady Cook, you saw a second ago, 7 of 10 passing, 141 yards and a touchdown in this decorated career that has a few games left in it.
We showed earlier, climbing the record books is Brady Cook as a passer.
4th all time in passing yards and 5th in touchdowns coming in for Coach Drinkwitz today, and Eli is with Alyssa.
Coach, your defense turned a turnover into points. We've got 2 Marcus Carroll touchdowns. How would you evaluate your team in the first half?
Yeah, I thought our defensive stop right there was really big. It's really going to be critical. The offense coming back with a good drive to start the second half.
What do you want to see from your defense in the second half to close this out?
Well, we got to tighten up some coverage. We're still giving them too much air in the RPO game.
Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.
Thank you both. The score at halftime is Missouri 28, Mississippi State 13. Now let's send it to Dari, Chris, and Benjamin in the studio. That's Matt there. I'm Taylor. Alyssa's on the field. Wondered how Missouri would come out after that heartbreaking loss last week, and they were a little sleepy to start this game. But then Dalen Carnell picks up a fumble, goes 68 yards with it. Missouri gets on the board, and everybody on Mizzou's team woke up.
Yeah, it really was kind of a quiet start for Missouri offensively. You think about defense, they got that big stop. Mississippi State goes all the way down the field. Rhythm, moving quickly, forced that field goal. Really the story of the first half, I think, is the Missouri defense. Not only because they scored that touchdown, but because they forced a couple of red zone field goals. Mississippi State with their opening possession and then their final possession of the first half, forcing the Bulldogs to kick those field goals versus coming away with touchdowns. That's the difference in the game.
Well, you just went through it. The stats in the first half, Missouri activated their ground game stench after the defensive touchdown, sort of got the offense going.
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, up until then, it was all Mississippi State, had a couple of explosive runs. Then Missouri got going a little bit. And the other big piece of it, the third down conversions. And you see 5 of 7 after the first 2 possessions where Missouri just got bounced right off the field. They found ways to get those conversions, and they're usually in the middle of those long drives.
Brady Cook offense, hands to Noel, and Nate, a big hole on first down, gets up near the 40-yard line for 15 more. Nate approaching 50 yards rushing on the day after 150 last week against South Carolina.
Busy man, busy man. We mentioned Kewan Lacey left, went into the locker room. Don't know his status here in the second half, but Noel able to get it going. Carroll also able to get in the end zone. Been able to get that ground game rocking and rolling.
Again, Noel, not much this time, maybe a couple. Let's go down to Alyssa Lang.
Stinch, you just mentioned Kewan Lacey. I'm told he will not come back to this game dealing with an upper body injury.
Well, it's a bummer for the true freshman who has been a part of the backfield story in the last month with Noel, Marcus Carroll, and Jamal Roberts. And with Noel coming out, Marcus Carroll comes in on a 2nd and 7. We are watching very closely number 8 and number 9 in their bunched up jerseys and their similar physiques. Cook to Norfleet. Brett tiptoes the sideline. Did he stay in bounds? There are flags down. Dives down to the pylon. Touchdown. Now we'll see if it stands. All the Mississippi State defensive players think it's coming back. Heck of an effort, though.
Reception.
I'll say. I can't tell if Norfleet's just tired, just flabbergasted after all of that. Hustling his way down there.
Walking back, number 0 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, 2nd down.
That was Joshua Manning. Our statistician Kevin Maloney saw it clear as day as it was happening. It negates a 57-yard touchdown.
Well, he was kind of looking around, was Joshua Manning. So he comes back to make this block. See him downfield? I don't know. That was iffy, to say the least. And Manning, you can kind of tell after he's looking up to see if there's a flag. It looked like it was pretty clean.
Why even make contact?
Yeah,
Norfleet's past those guys. Yeah. 2nd and 10 at Mizzou's own 40. Carroll squirts up near the 48, maybe the 49. It'll be 3rd and short.
You see Carroll, he's not scared. I mean, even if it's a small hole, he'll squeeze it up in there. A guy who's more of a thumper, more physical runner. A guy you can see at the end of these runs, they're just kind of pounding defenders.
Missouri so much better today on 3rd down, 5 of 7. And that's a 1st down run down to the 47-yard line as Carroll moves the chains again.
A lot of backfield motion, and that's typical for this Missouri offense. So it makes the defense at least respect the threat of that potential fly sweep, hand it off. Lakai Miller kind of blowing through the backfield, and really you're just going to get Marcus Carroll right downhill.
Carroll's out. Nate Noel back in. He runs hard and gets more than a handful there. You wonder, you don't know what your team's going to look like year to year in this day and age. And after Cody Schrader ran out of eligibility last year, Coach Drinkwitz knew he was going to have to go into the portal and find a back or two. And he went to his old school, Appalachian State, and found Nate Noel. And he found Georgia State's Marcus Carroll. And here's a 1st down run for Noel, Alyssa.
One of my favorite stories of the entire season is just talking about how those two running backs are so grateful and so thankful to be here in the SEC. They looked at each other after the first Missouri game this season. They said, "Can you believe we're here?" Earlier today after Marcus's 2nd touchdown, I watched him walk over to his offensive line, shake each and every one of their hands with a huge smile on his face. You can tell that just the love of playing ball in this conference has not worn off for either one of them.
They were the 2 best tailbacks in the Sun Belt last year. Carroll 1st team, Noel 2nd team. Noel has been the 1st string tailback all year, with Carroll spelling Nate. Nate's out there now. Play clock runs down, and Nate takes it again inside the 35.
Well, they definitely complemented one another in this run game. And as we mentioned, Carroll, the guys thought to be, if you had to pick out situational football, more specific skill set for physical runs, short yardage, goal line. Noel a little bit more explosive. Lacey thought to be more explosive. Some of their stretch zone schemes.
Noel to the bench. Carroll back into the game. Schrader had over 1,600 yards rushing last year. And with this guy, Carroll, Noel, Lacey, Roberts, and if you include Brady Cook's yardage, they basically equaled that. It's taken about 5 guys to do it, but it's by committee.
Well, it's however you get it there, right? And it almost makes a lot of sense to be able to diversify where that yardage is coming from. It's not concentrated with just that one guy. That's risky. Here's Mississippi State with an opportunity to get off the field. Well, as we've noted, third downs have been an enemy of the Bulldogs. They just have not been able to get those stops. And so far, Missouri has just been feeding this defense with repeated runs.
That was their 30th of the game, the last one. 9 of the 10 plays on this drive have been runs, and the dive ahead for Carroll. Right near the sticks.
Marked just short. Carroll kind of had to lunge forward to try to get there.
You got to keep it going here, don't you?
That definitely seems to be the case. You see, they had an unbalanced extra lineman. So big Mitchell Walters, he just ran all the way off because, oh, okay, we're going to leave the offense on. He just ran 100 yards, number 75.
9 of the 10 plays on this drive have been runs in a drive that's taken over 6 minutes. And Brady Cook on a keeper gets plenty.
Watch this push. Just unbalanced to the left. As we mentioned, the extra lineman, Walters in there. Brady Cook able to lunge forward. We mentioned it earlier. He looks healthy. I mean, he's moved well in this game. Doesn't seem like there's any lingering issues with his ankle from that Auburn game.
Mississippi State hasn't touched the football yet in this half. And Noel comes back in to get a couple more. Missouri leads the SEC in time of possession this season, and this has been the epitome of what they've done all year today.
Coming up on what, 12 plays now on this drive? I mean, nearly half the quarter, call it 13. I usually stop counting at a dozen. So they're at 13 now. Half the quarter is gone.
Baker's dozen. Takes a big hit at the end of the play by Corey Ellington. It will be third down.
This is a withering type of drive, incidentally, Taylor. When we talk about that middle 8, yeah, Missouri ceded 3 points there in kind of the middle of it at the end of the first half. But to come out here in the second half and basically erase half the quarter in a 2-possession game and just pound the football down the field. Walters again, number 75, this time on the right side of the formation, the bottom of your screen, the extra lineman.
Cook, he's short. Tackled by Isaac Smith. He's been there all season. Fourth down.
Yeah, it made it look like he was going to try to throw a quick screen out. See if he could get, I don't know if he thought he just saw an opportunity. I thought it was designed. I couldn't tell if that was just the 2 options or if he was bluffing on the throw. Regardless, it was well defended on the edge. So after that long drive, methodically moving it down, State finally able to get a stop on third down.
The longer the kick, the better Blake Craig is. Already has a freshman school record for field goals. And that is his 20th of the season. That drive took over 8 minutes to start the quarter. 31-13 MIZ. moment for Mississippi State fans today was when they showed Ole Miss losing on the big board before the game started. Rebels lose to the Gators down in Gainesville earlier today.
Schadenfreude is real here in the SEC. Boy, I love that.
Short field for Mississippi State after that penalty that's going to be announced here by David Smith. And we go down to Alyssa.
Guys, I talked to Jeff Levy coming out of the locker room. He said he emphasized the importance of finishing in the red zone. I said, when it comes to your young quarterback, when he turns the football over early and that leads to Missouri points, how do you coach him through that? He said, just remind him, you have to take care of the football. It's the most important thing. We've talked about some of the growing pains with Michael Van Buren, how he's faced the challenge head on and gotten better and better as the weeks go on. But there's still moments where you remember he's a true freshman playing in the SEC.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, Alyssa. And it's something you just have to go through. He is the best option they have, and he has shown, as you said, a lot of flashes. Helps when his all-purpose tailback runs the football like that. Devon Booth with his best run of the day. Hit out of bounds by Joe Charleston.
He does a great job getting outside. Nice blocking out front. Big Luke work. Number 51, another true freshman, leading the way downfield.
22-yard run for Booth there. Already in Missouri territory. Van Buren again to Booth. Makes a couple of cuts. Look at this. It's even longer than the last one. Touchdown! Two plays, two runs by Devon Booth, 65 yards, and the Bulldogs will go for two.
Oh, check that.
Nope,
they got the kicker out.
Excuse me.
Jeff Levy and run all the way down. He grabbed Van Buren. Like he was going to try to go for two there. Was thinking about it.
Yeah, it makes it an 11-point game.
Yep.
You chase the points later. It's 31-20. Well, it helps to have a guy that's gone over 1,000 yards in all-purpose on the season. The senior from Las Vegas, Nevada, Devon Booth.
Climbing back into this game. Two-possession game, but Mississippi State still very much in it.
Johnson coming out. Barely get past the 20-yard line. So a reminder coming up next, we go down to Death Valley. LSU hosts Vanderbilt in Tiger Stadium. It's also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Interesting time right now with the LSU Tigers. Very much in the college football playoff picture 3 weeks ago, and then they blow a double-digit halftime lead against Texas A&M, blown out of their own stadium by Alabama, and then lose last week to Florida, and suddenly 3 straight losses as they host one of the biggest stories in the SEC of the season, Vanderbilt, who's 6-4 on the year.
It really is. I mean, the story around Vanderbilt, given the season they had last year, between them, the South Carolina team, it's just been a remarkable turnaround.
Yeah, Vanderbilt 6-4 feels a lot better, different than LSU's 6-4.
Yeah. Nobody was talking Vandy coming into this season.
Well, with 4 more there on first down. Cook will throw. Can still do that, huh? Weiss almost slipped away again. Picks up 13 yards. It had been a while since Brady Cook used his arm.
Other than that throw to Norfleet, it was like a 9-on-7 drill. Just hand the football off, and we've seen this repeatedly this season, especially versus Mississippi State. Soft cushion, opportunity to just take the yardage.
That is Brady's 8th straight completion. Back to the ground with Noel. And he'll get a couple more past the 40 up to the 41. So if Missouri wins this game today, Matt, and then beats Arkansas next week, that's a 9-3 season. Our friends, Mr. Schleybaugh and Bonagura, have the interesting task of trying to figure out where all the teams are going to go bowling at the end of the year. They both have Mizzou in the Las Vegas Bowl. And Mizzou fans, if you're listening right now, you might be looking at whoever's next to you saying,
Bad destination.
Maybe we'll go to Vegas to watch the Missouri Tigers. Noel climbs up near the 45. It'll be third down from there.
I will say this. There's no hesitancy by Mississippi State at the safety position. They come flying downhill. We saw the Bulldogs able to find a way to get a stop earlier. Can they find a way to do it here? Third downs, as we've mentioned, has been a real challenge all game long to get Missouri off the field.
One second left on the clock, and he gets it off. Cook throws, perfect ball, and it's Burden in space. Watch out. Can't get him on the ground yet. Inside the 30-yard line.
Just so good after the catch. I can't think of a time where Luther Burden is tackled, the first tackler. Breaks tackles, breaks ankles. The orthopedic surgeon's dream. Just out there, get him the ball. Just people with body parts laying around.
That is his 5th catch of the day, which means he passes T.J. Moe for 5th all-time in Missouri history for catches. That was a 6-yard throw. It was a 28-yard play.
So sudden after the ball's completed.
It's an RPO, and Cook goes into the state bench. Conversation. Watch out over there. There's some extracurricular activity, and
a flag easily could have come out. We saw that a very similar situation last week. The flag came out. The sideline altercation. So you see Cook, he gets all the way over there to the bench, and then you got guys over there not even in the game. Got towels on their heads, chirping.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, a little shove on the way out. Wow. Of course, Brady Cook, he's not scared to wolf back.
On 2nd and 10, he throws a back shoulder ball. Incomplete, looking for Johnson. Pollock was on the coverage.
Like you said, Taylor, upfield, thinking back shoulder all the way. Looked like Pollock might have gotten his mouthpiece.
He did. He
grabbed his mouthpiece.
That's what Johnson's telling his friends over on the sideline.
And they're like, yeah, just catch the ball, man.
3rd and 10.
Last time State was about this part of the field, able to get a stop, force a field goal attempt that was made.
Cook with time, throws, incomplete. Norfleet double covered, 4th down.
Well, Norfleet's a big target, literally and figuratively. Every bit of 6'6", 6'7". Mississippi State had coverage over top and underneath. And once again, State cedes yards, but able to get a stop. Forced this field goal.
So a 44-yard attempt now for Craig, the redshirt freshman from Kansas City. 5th nationally at just under 2 field goals a game. That one is wide to the right. It remains an 11-point game, and Mississippi State will get the ball back as they clang the cowbells in Stark Vegas.
Big explosive run to set up the opening scoring drive, ended with a field goal, and then of course ripped off a couple of nice runs.
Van Buren taking a shot to Akari, who gets draped all over and still makes the catch. Toriano pride in his jersey, and Akari still made the grab, 49 yards.
Well, as you said it, Taylor, there's very physical. Grabs the jersey well early. No flag comes out. Akari focuses. Van Buren hung that ball up. It was a moonshot.
Just like that, State's inside the Missouri 25-yard line. They barely had the ball in this half. Just over a minute in time of possession. Mizzou's had it for over 13 minutes. Yet State has outscored Missouri in this quarter. Johnny Daniels gets a few there. Let's take another look at this grab by Akari.
I think the ball was in the air longer than Mississippi State has possessed it this whole half. Great job by Akari. What a beautiful throw by Van Buren. And Akari's focus to rein that one in. Big play. We just got done talking about Booth's runs. How about Akari with a big catch?
Quarter coming to an end. And Van Buren does get it off. On the run, throws a wild throw to Traore. It'll be second down at the end of the third quarter. Mississippi State is back in this game, down 11 and on the doorstep in Starkville. Touchdown! Even though they had the football for 11 less minutes, this is a 3rd and 6 to start the fourth quarter at the Missouri 20. Van Buren will hand it off to Daniels, and Daniels gets down to the 17. It's going to be 4th down. Let's see what happens here. If Mississippi State elects to make it a one-score game here, Matt, or are they keeping the offense on the field?
They are. They're leaving their offense out on the field right here. Got a whole quarter to play. Part of it, though, we just got done documenting Missouri remarkably good at playing keep away. Possessions are precious here in the second half.
4th and 3. Across the middle, and it's a low ball, turnover on downs, and Mosley was open.
Van Buren knew it. He went running out of the pocket afterwards. We've seen this a couple times. In fact, this same part of the field, heading towards the same end zones, back-to-back slants. Akari couldn't come up with a catch, and then here Mosley trying to jam one in there, and on a crucial 4th down, Mosley can't come away with it. If you're Jeff Levy, you're sitting there thinking, man, so you got almost a sure field goal there to make it a one-possession game.
And Missouri goes back to the ground game. Noel gets a yard. Down to Alyssa.
Since the sun has gone down, it really has gotten pretty cold down here. And you know, in the South, we don't like to be cold. We also don't like our footballs to be cold. Shout out to the equipment staffers on the sidelines who are heating up the balls and heating up the footballs in front of heaters down here, doing the Lord's work to make sure that it, you know, is perfect for when it finds the field.
How far away are you from that heater?
Don't ask me how I saw what was happening.
2nd and 9.
Just researching how the footballs that one. Stand nearby.
And there's another Noel run taking off, but tripped up just short of the 1st down by Corey Ellington. It'll be 3rd down.
We've seen Mississippi State a little bit more success here in the second half on 3rd downs. Kennedy, this would be huge. After you get an explosive play, you missed a scoring opportunity. Can you get the ball back quickly to your offense? Missouri's been excellent all night on 3rd downs, getting conversions.
Including handing it off to Jamal Roberts, which they do this time, and Roberts dives right at your yellow line at home. 1st down.
Great effort by Roberts. Had tacklers around his feet, just kind of had to lunge forward to get that line to gain.
Again to Roberts on a 1st down carry, and he's tackled up at the 30. Missouri has run the football 43 times today. Do have a Mississippi State injured player down on the ground. We'll check on him and be back in just a moment in Starkville. On the season, in Texas is whipping Kentucky. So hang out with us as Mizzou's up 11 on Mississippi State here in the fourth quarter. Brady Cook has been turning around and handing the football off a bunch, and he does it again. Noel with the carry there. That is carry number 44 of the day for Mizzou.
And another third down. Last time Roberts came in, was able to lunge forward to get a conversion. Mississippi State with a chance to get yet another stop. And the folks are just jumping over here with us. I think State missed that opportunity to score. Big fourth down stop by the Missouri defense. It's been the Missouri defense has been the story in this game. Defensive score there in the first half. And a chance for the Bulldogs to try to get the ball back to their offense.
Cook has time across the middle. Easy pitch and catch to Manning. First down, still on his feet. All the way down inside the 35 before Tillman makes the tackle.
They set Manning in motion, so kind of yo-yo him out. Bring him back in. And then he ends up, see the mesh right there. It's a crossing route. See if you can't get a natural pick. And Mississippi State really poor tackling there on the boundary. Picked up what, another 15, 20 yards.
36 in total, all the way down to the Mississippi State 33.
Another big third down conversion.
And you can bet Missouri will go back to the ground. Carroll inside the 30 down to the 29. 45 carries, over 190 yards for Missouri, averaging just over 4 yards per carry, which is exactly what Coach Drinkwitz and his staff, Kirby Moore, his offensive coordinator, wanted.
And in so doing, completely dominating the time of possession. Just keep away from Mississippi State, who's barely had the football here in the second half.
Well, they've had it, Missouri's had it 12 more minutes than Mississippi State has today. On 2nd and 6, Cook does throw. Burton turns, stays in bounds all the way inside the 15 as Washington finally gets him out of bounds.
That's the trick. You just got to hold on for dear life and hope he runs out of room. That's how you tackle Luther Burden if nobody's there to help you out.
How about this guy, Alyssa?
Seen so many tough plays, not only from Luther, but this entire team. We were just talking about those third down conversions and getting some extra yards after contact. Drink was telling us yesterday, the way Brady Cook battles through injury every single play, it really bleeds into the rest of this football team. And let's be honest, there were questions about how motivated Mizzou would be. They look pretty motivated to me tonight, guys.
I would say so. You stole the words out of my mouth there. Carroll inside the 10. This is an identity game for Missouri. For Brady Cook, for Luther Burden III, for Coach Drinkwitz and his staff, and they certainly are showing all the signs of an 8-3 team that'll take the field next week against rival Arkansas, with hopes of still getting to 10 wins by the end of the season.
And a team that has struggled on the road, has not done a good job. You know, when they get away from Faurot Field, this is their big chance. They've been 0 for 3 in their SEC road games so far this season. Chance to vanquish that.
Trying to put the game away. Hand it to Burton, and he's inside the 5, down near the 4.
Deep in the run playbook. Everybody's getting touches now. So how about you pull your center and guard, or center and right tackle that time, get a couple pullers out in front. Hand it off to Luther Burden. They had a tap pass first play of the game. Get it to number 3 in the ground attack. And he's kind of laboring over there on the sideline after that run.
Playing hard, 6 catches. That one counted as a catch for 86 yards. This is 3rd and inches. Cook keeps it. And just that forward movement should be enough for a 1st and goal.
This body blows. chopping down Mississippi State this entire half. We talked about it. The commitment to the ground game is something that offensive coordinator Kirby Moore was talking about. We got to get the ground game going. And they've certainly been able to do that. Not necessarily with the guys that they anticipated. As we mentioned, Kewan Lacey was a guy that they figured could be a big part of it.
Look at that. That's attempts. 47. Still 7+ minutes to go in the game. Carroll down to the 2. Ellington prevented the touchdown.
Heck of a tackle, Corey Ellington. He doesn't get up there. That's a bounce run into the end zone. Watch Carroll press it downhill, just bounce it outside, and Ellington, a heck of a tackle. Bounce out of there, get upfield, able to get Carroll off his feet.
Hey, how about these drives that Missouri has gone on in the second half? I mean, this is a 13-play drive. It's already taken over 7 minutes of clock here in the fourth quarter. Had one like that to start the second half. Again, a turn in the hand to Carroll. Carroll plowing forward, still on his feet. And a couple of Mississippi State defenders keep him out of the end zone at the 1.
Well, the Bulldog defense still fighting. They grinded. A couple of guys, Travion Williams, he was faced the wrong way, just spun his back, was pushing, boxing him out of the end zone.
Deontay Anderson in there as well. Now 3rd and goal. With an 8+ minute drive. Brady Cook will take this clock down as far as he can. Try to punch it in. Carroll. Touchdown. The power back gets to be the finisher on a 14-play, 82-yard drive.
Just downhill, a chance to make the play. Stone Blanton back there. Too much forward momentum for Carroll. And 2 Bulldogs in the backfield just could not get him onto the ground. First guy back there couldn't do it. Stone Blanton able to make the tackle, but not before they could get in there.
Looks like they're going for Dose. Brought to you by Dos Equis. Make it a 19-point game. And it's a direct snap to Carroll, who's in 39-20.
So outside of the first 2 possessions in this game, both were 3 and out. It's been nothing but long drives from Missouri.
Mississippi State couldn't punch it in on a 4th down. Missouri went on a 4th quarter long drive to put the game away. Gators have turned into a tough out, and at least going into today, a 1-win FSU team next week.
Well, they had Tennessee Volunteer fans doing the Gator chomp at the game today. That's when you know the Vols pulling hard for the Gators. Why? They're trying to get their team in the playoff.
If you've been flipping around today and you want to know the story of the game, we're about to show it to you. That's the second half, folks. Missouri's had the ball 19 more minutes than Mississippi State has.
Staggering, really, when you think about it.
50 runs for 200 yards.
It's just been a keep away. And you think Mississippi State had that empty possession after their drive.
There's all kinds of miscommunication there as Kevin Coleman took off down the field.
He was open.
False start. Number 3 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
I thought we were going to arena football rules for a second there.
Man, I mean, no, it's crazy is he took off and he kept going. It wasn't like, oh man, I knew it. I don't know. That was odd. You don't see that every time. Sometimes guys will flinch. And go, oh, I was early. He was a good 20 yards downfield before he realized, hey, one of these kids is doing his own thing.
And Buren, watch out. Johnny Walker, now his 5th straight game with at least half a sack. Flag did come in at the end.
Newsom
but I think
on the tackle. 4-yard loss, 2nd down.
Looks like they might have picked it up.
Yeah, I believe that just fell out of a pocket there. 2nd and 19. And Buren, catch made by Traore. The Englishman is up to the 30-yard line after a pickup of 13 yards. Alyssa was talking about the growing pains of a true freshman quarterback. This is Michael's 7th start of the season, 8th game that Van Buren has played in. And Coach Levy was talking to us yesterday. Wonderful kid, takes instruction well, good teammate. As that's a 1st down ball that's dropped by Mosley. It'll be 4th down instead. But there's just so much teaching going on right now, Matt, about how to play the college game. Michael was better than every other athlete on the field last year in high school in Bowie, Maryland, and it's a different story when you come to the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, Jeff Levy really appreciated and has appreciated, covets really, that mindset that Van Buren's had. Takes coaching well, wants to get better, wants to get coached hard. And this experience will prove to be invaluable here in this true freshman year.
5 seconds left on that play clock. Not going to get this off. Yes, they do. Well,
Levy came and called timeout right as the play clock was about to expire.
we'll take it with them with 4:34 to go. Missouri about to be 8-3 on the year. Here in Starkville, Saturday before Thanksgiving. It's 4th down for Mississippi State. Van Buren throws, high ball short of the 1st down after Traore makes the catch. Trevez Johnson, who's been banged up the last couple of weeks, makes the tackle. It's a turnover on downs.
They advanced the ball 1 yard on that one. Van Buren obviously disappointed. I think this, at least a half, and the final perhaps, looks a little bit different. You get a 4th down conversion earlier instead. Missouri's defense was able to get a big stop. Answer in their own right.
Brady Cook will get to complete this football game. What a battler this guy is, and has been throughout his entire career, dealing with a number of injuries this season. Wants to throw and throws underneath. Norfleet wide open, jumps over a defender down near the 15-yard line. It's a 17-yard completion.
Norfleet loves that hurdle thing, doesn't he? Tried it earlier. Almost got into the end zone, got called back for a touchdown. I guess when you're 6'6", what does that look like if you're a defender? The guy's 6'6", like 280 pounds, is jumping up in the air. It's like getting attacked by a flying horse or something. Guys coming at you with nothing but cleats, kneecaps, and shins.
Missouri has just been outrageously good, Matt, at scoring points in the red zone the last 2 years. They're 95 of their last 100 scoring points after that last drive. And here they are again. That's the last 2 years. They're only at 3 empty trips this year. And that's one of the many reasons why this team is improving to 8-3 tonight. The Battle Line rivalry is next Saturday here on SEC Network at 3:30 Eastern Time between Coach Drinkwitz's Missouri Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas playing Louisiana Tech today, and they're 2 minutes away from becoming bowl eligible. Arkansas's up 3 touchdowns there. Noel stays in bounds down near the 12. And of course, Mississippi State finishes the season on Friday over in Oxford in the Egg Bowl after Ole Miss lost today to Florida. Coach Levy against his former colleague Lane Kiffin, who he used to coach for at Ole Miss. Everyone in this state certainly will be watching that.
Short week, quick turnaround. Defense that's been out on the field a lot, nearly the entire second half, it seems, for Mississippi State.
And 3rd and 8, Roberts trucks his way down inside the 8, and this will take us to the 2-minute timeout. It will be 4th down when we return for Missouri. A 39-20 lead, leading to an 8th victory of the season for the Tigers on a Saturday night in Starkville, Mississippi. That bracket is revealed Sunday after conference championship games are held. This is 4th and 3 for Missouri. They can go into victory formation if they get the first down. Luther Burden takes it, and he's inside the 5, down near the 3. That is a 1st and goal. And it's fitting, too, for Burden, who's had a great day. Missouri's ability to control the football was military-like today. I mean, it's kind of like what Army would tend to do.
It is, yeah. It's kind of reminiscent of that drive Army had versus what, North Texas? North Texas is over there going, I'm going to celebrate a birthday before I get to go back on the field and play offense.
Mississippi State ran 11 plays in the second half.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's these long drives, and partly because Mississippi State scored quickly on a 2-play drive. That's it. That ended it. I mean, it ended up being a very limited possession game here in the second half.
It's been a strange year with these differences now with conference expansion and the schedule. Missouri did not play Tennessee, Florida, Kentucky, or Georgia for the first time since they joined the conference, but did play Oklahoma in a conference game, played at A&M, host Arkansas next week. Sort of feel like Missouri has brought more of their neighbors into the conference in recent years. And then for Mississippi State, they did not play Alabama for the first time since 1947. Auburn for the first time since 1954, and LSU for the first time since 1943. So it's taken a lot of getting used to with this new schedule.
It'll be the same schedule again next year, just locations flipped. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you're talking about centuries-old runs that went on sabbatical this year and will again next year. State doesn't face teams that they typically have.
We'll see what Missouri decides to do here on the 1st and goal at the 1. They were lined up in victory formation, and that is what Coach Drinkwitz will decide to do. Matt, I want to give a shout out to my home away from home this fall, St. Simons, Georgia, to Missouri man David Donnelly, and to Mississippi State man Robbie Ware, who have watched this game together while they're working the PGA Tour event there this week. You know, it's a house divided in their rental house as they're watching the game this week in Georgia Bulldogs country. Fun experience always to come to Starkville. I know better days are ahead for Jeff Levy, building this program from scratch, falling to 2-9 today, 0-7 in SEC play. Will look to break the hearts of the Rebels on Friday. Meanwhile, Missouri is 8-3 now, 4-3 in the SEC before taking on Arkansas next week. So thanks to Justin Argo and our entire production team for all of their hard work all week. A pleasure working with them. As we watch number 23 Missouri beat Mississippi State today 39-20. Missouri ran the ball 56 times in the game.
We just salted that one away. We didn't necessarily see that happen. First drive of the 3rd quarter. Long visit there between Drinkwitz and Levy afterwards, but a needed win for Missouri. find a way to get a victory on the road in conference, something that has largely eluded them. Able to find a way to get it done.
Down to Alyssa.
Coach, there were some questions this week about how motivated your team would show up to this game. What did you see from their level of motivation today?
Well, I think our defense really turned the whole momentum when they got the strip sack for a fumble for a touchdown, and then our offense kind of came alive right there. Really proud of the way we handled the last, fourth quarter right there, and it was a good win.
We've talked about how the strength of this offense has been running the football and running it consistently. Y'all did a lot of that tonight. Time of possession battle. Why was that so important tonight?
Well, we knew they were dynamic offensively and get into a rhythm, but we felt like if we could consistently run the ball, we could frustrate them, and that was the key to our success.
How do you manage subbing Marcus and Nate in and out the way that y'all do?
They both have their strengths, and we try to play to those guys' strengths. When Marcus's shoulders are going downhill, he's really tough to tackle, but Nate's got an extra gear, so really proud of both of them. They're both really unselfish players.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Yeah, MIZ.